been doing it pretty conversationally in a way that like if the question pops up, it's obvious that you're answering.
Okay.
Or it can be like, it's like you're conversating and we're like showing clips of it, and then whatever part that doesn't make sense, we just add in.
That's what we'll segue.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Yo, it's Armani White, and this is the story on how I released my single, Billie Eilish. So when we made the record, Billie Eilish, we found some back ideas as far as like, samples and things. And when we got that beat back, when July sent that beat back, I just, every time before it would drop, I would just press the mute button on my computer, press the mute button and bring it in on the drop type joint. And then I had that idea as a voice memo already. And I just like put the two and two together. And I start singing it, Glock tuck, mute it, Glock tuck, big t-shirt, Billie, mute, you know what I mean? And then the beat would come in. And so I was just like, man, this shit fire. You know what I mean? Is that Chris? Yeah. I'm like, man, this shit fire. I took it to the studio that night and we recorded it. I had wrote this whole plan out of how I would do it if I were to drop it. And the plan, I don't know, I was getting real creative because I was like, I don't know how to clear a sample. This shit might never come out, you know what I'm saying? So, but the entire time we just felt it, you know what I mean? Like the energy at the studio, it was pure. It was, us at the studio, it was kind of just like, yo, turn the camera on, bro. Like, we gonna remember this moment. It wasn't even to go live. It was really just so we could like have this in the can for one day. And, so we recorded that video maybe 2-3 days prior to, posting it. I was sitting at the crib bored, like, man, I'm tired of having these conversations, label calls, woo. Like, I was like, man, I really just want to take things into my own hands. And I posted that video that night. No captions, no effects, no like nothing special. Just posted that video by itself. Caption was like, yo, this one's called Billie Eilish. Put it up, went to sleep. I'm talking about maybe 5 a.m. I wake up early, so like 5 a.m. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I never had a video hit over 1 million at the time. So like, I'm looking at it, had like 700 grand. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, whatever, like I'm tripping, you know what I mean? It gotta be like high school kids. They must have got in a like little cycle, whatever. I get ready to go to the gym. By the time I make it to the gym, had 1 million views. So I'm like, all right, let me dig into it. I started scrolling through the comments. Complex is in there, Dissect Podcast is in there, all these other little verified pages is in there, Dat Piff is in there, Russ is in there, and I'm going through, I'm like, oh nah, this for real. Like, you know what I mean? I go on Instagram, my DMs is loaded, you know what I'm saying? Every one of the boxes, from the like primary box, the general box, the submission box, the hidden submission box, all that's loaded. I'm like, oh, this one of the ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, so and that was instant. That was like, you know what I mean? By the morning, they had 1 million views. By noon, they had 2 million views. And then it just started picking up in other places. It started a domino effect. We had to decide whether or not, like, I guess how serious to take the moment, because I never cleared a sample before in my life. So we found out who to call, where to go, like how, like all the small details, and it's all politics. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really went through that process before, but it's like you have to go through a middleman who calls another middleman. I don't want to call him a middleman, but like a publishing company, who then reaches out to whoever owns the record. But in this specific case, there was 3 different people on the publishing. Like there was Noriega, obviously, there was Pharrell, there was Greg Camp, just because Noriega said a Pharrell line, or he said a Smash Mouth line. You know what I mean? Like, it was so many pieces, and then the biggest portion of the piece was Universal. Universal had to clear it. Universal was like, they waited until every other side was cleared to say, yeah, we're not gonna clear it until you get Billie Eilish to approve on the name of this song. And that was a big hold up. Like, a big portion of it, like, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of it was politics. We had to get, like, my manager had to call Pharrell's manager and make that happen. And then I had to like leverage some of my relationships I had over in the Universal, like the clearance buildings, to like try and expedite the process. But yeah, that one piece that we was missing was just getting that Billie Eilish approval. And yeah, so like that repost that I put up when Billie Eilish had reposted the girl dancing and everything, bro, it was like a monumental moment for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm that's why I'm at the point, I'm like, then they brought the tears, because I didn't think it was happening anymore. It was like, in my head, I'm looking at all the comments. They're like, bro, the hype is gonna die. I'm like, I know it's dying. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm in my head just like that, So, and then when that happened, they hit right back. Yo, y'all good to go. You know what I mean? Let it fly. And we had it, you know what I mean? We had the moments that we ran back to Universal, like 2-3 weeks went by and then they sent it back. But it's just like, it's such a antiquated process, bro. It's almost like sending it through a mail, like sending it through a carrier pigeon or something, like, you know what I mean? Trying to get it to go from one place just to, you know what I mean? Like, I think the way that it's set up kind of now is like, you go to one person, you ask them, can you do it? They ask somebody. They got to, you know, whenever they feel like answering the email, they'll read it. Then they'll send it to somebody. Whenever they feel like responding, they'll respond back. And then, you know, I mean, you have to have a conversation, essentially. So that long process, you have to do that about 3 or 4 times, like 3 or 4 volleys back and forth and shit. So, yeah, bro. Like, I'm giving you a very long answer, but it was a long wait. Like, it took a long time. I mean, I thought it was going to be done in like a month, like at most a month. And I was going to be like, man, you know, sorry for the wait. But then like 2 more of them went by and I was like, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm happy for the hype, but you know. So it gets clear. Ooh, we celebrate. TikTok, and I'm on the floor. Matter of fact, I'm with Christian. I'm with Christian when we get the call that it got cleared. And, you know, because it was a few times that we had hit this finish line and I didn't really, like, if you watch that video on my TikTok, a few times that we hit this finish line where, like, I got a video, I didn't even post it, but when they called me when Pharrell cleared his side, and I was like, yo, we did it. But then we had to wait for everything else. And, like, you know, so when I get that call, I'm like, wait, like clear, like it's done, you know what I'm saying? And so we get it cleared, boom. And then it's more politics. It's more politics because I think, you know, I've never had a hit record before. I put it as simple as that. So a lot of the things that goes around a hit record, I didn't know was like a thing. Like I didn't know once somebody can detect it, everybody got their hands in it. You know what I mean? It's like the guy who held the door for you. He like, yo, I want a piece of this record. Like, you know what I mean? The guy who put mustard on your sandwich this morning, he want a piece of the record. The guy that, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know this many people would just like try and be involved. So it was just kind of like trying to weed through everything, see what was real, what was fake, like, you know, who was just waiting for somebody else to jump. And like, it just became such a elongated process that like, originally the song was supposed to come out, I think 2 weeks ago. Originally the song was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago. And then we had to pull the plug because it's just like some behind the scenes things that I just, you know, I'm not going to say too much out loud, but like, it was just so much politics, bro. It's like, it's so much politics, and I, as much as I wanted it to just be like a fair play, like just like an easy going thing, it just didn't. And you know, so we get it cleared. I was like, yo, let's go out next week. You know what I mean? Like, and I had my best piece of content, and I threw that up, and it got 3 million views. I'm like, let's go out next week, and we ready. And then we had to pull it. And I'm like, and so we had, you know, from there it was like, yo, let's just announce this release day. Another big thing that we had to think about and consider was Kendrick drop. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you feel about him, how you feel about the project, whether you liked it or disliked it, it happened. And that was a big moment, you know what I mean? So like, it's like, do you really want to let your moment be clouded by, I don't care how highly you think of yourself, Kendrick Lamar is Kendrick Lamar, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't care how much, you know, steam, whatever it was, hype, all that shit y'all thought I had for this record, I ain't dropping with Kendrick. And I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that like we got it clear. I think like the 1st, 2nd of May, something like that. Even when I announced it getting cleared, it was because it was about to get cleared. It wasn't even fully cleared, but we got it cleared. And then I was like, you know, we had a little hiccup. So I was like, look, let's just go out the week after Kendrick and not even wait till Friday. Like we could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or something, bro. Like let's just go out. And you know, and Thursday just made sense. If you hear the original voice memo of Billie Eilish, it's hilarious. It's like, some stylist, black tuck, big t-shirt, Billie Eilish, touching on my privates. Like, it's some old goofy shit. Like, and I made it as a joke. Like, I didn't take it serious. We had just came back from, when I first did it, we had just came back from ACL. We played ACL the same year as her. And I remember her manager was saying something about how they, not to me directly, but he was saying something about how they made all of her merch green for a long period of time. So like they was just selling all these big ass t-shirts that was green, and her whole thing was big ass t-shirts. So, you know, so when we, like, I just started, you know, it was like a random metaphor that just popped in my head, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fly. Like if I, you know, like I was doing it on some West Coast shit at first. I was literally like, it was like one of them like SOB R&B, like like one of them type vibes in my head. And then, you know, when it came out, when I put it on that record, it just sounded, you know what I mean, it vibed with that sample. And yeah.
Is that last line about I don't know if I first class bitch on the pilot, is that a Jack Harlow dig?
Bro, that's funny as shit. Cause no, it's not. But like when I was writing the lyrics out in Genius, I thought about that and I was like, damn, I wonder if somebody gonna think like, you know, this song been written months ago, written and recorded before I even knew Jack Harlow's joint existed. So that's crazy. If they, you know, if them people start putting the two and two together and try and be like, yeah, he had a viral moment, he had a viral, like, damn, that'd be some shit. But nah, it wasn't no joint to Jack Harlow for sure. Like I fuck with Jack Harlow. I fuck with First Class. I fuck with First Class. That's funny as hell though. I'm glad you asked the question though. I'm glad you said that though, because I thought about it and I'm like, yo, the more people learn these lyrics, I think somebody else is going to say it. Like, cause it sound blatant. Like, fuck up First Class, I'm the pilot. Like, it's like that shit sound like a shot. Nah, it wasn't even meant to do that, brother. If I changed lyrics, I would have. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's Armani White. That was the story on how I released Billie Eilish. Go listen to my viral hit record now.